Hello, YouTube. Welcome in, welcome in. We're going to learn a little bit more about the primarchs today. We're on to Perturabo, the third primarch, the third living primarch, the third primarch that has a name. We don't talk about the second primarch. The second primarch is Fulgrim. Not the third. That's the second primarch. We don't worry about the second primarch, okay? Yes. Anyway, we're going to jump into checking out some Perturabo, see what he's all about. If I remember correctly, he's very, suspicious, and doesn't he also get screwed over by Fulgrim close to the end of Fulgrim's story? Yeah, Fulgrim, I think, eats part of his soul in order to turn into a demon of Slaanesh. Yeah, let's get going.
Tell them ruin has come to their world. Death, despair, and red war. Tell them their hopes and pride have come to nothing. Tell them their empty whispers fall upon deaf ears. Their gods are dead. Human reason has killed them. Tell them the angels of death have come. Tell them nothing can save them now.
Cool story, bro. Bertrabo, you sound like a little bit of an ass, not gonna lie.
Among the primarchs of his Imperium, pride would be the downfall of many of their legacies.
Yeah.
Imbued with power alike to gods, each primarch would be capable of conquering, sundering, and building empires with their innate talents.
Look, man, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's always been a motto I've listened to. Once you start getting a lot of power, influence, fame, all that fun stuff, it's going to get to your head and you're going to start acting like an absolute idiot. It's just going to happen. Unfortunately, we've seen it in tons of content creators, people who get their 5 minutes of fame and then they turn into a complete ass in public. We've seen people gaining some sort of notoriety, become absolute idiots. People who have won lotteries and all that, and then blow all their money on things that they really shouldn't. It's just the human condition is just to be a dumbass. And yeah.
Yet with such power, it is easy to fall to the temptations of ego, bitterness, and self-aggrandizement. For today, we shall elucidate a primarch, cursed with great knowledge and an endless hunger to prove his intelligence, capabilities, and superiority. The Lord of Iron of the 4th Legion, Perturabo. With the scattering of the primarchs across the disparate stars of the galaxy, the young primarch of the 4th Legion would be spirited to the world of Olympia. A civilized world abounding with culture, art, and technologies.
And it totally doesn't look like Rome. Totally doesn't look like Rome.
The planet would, despite its trappings, be laced with political deception and duplicity.
Totally unlike Rome.
The young primarch had been sighted wandering the outskirts of the settlements and outcast clusters of the planet. Gifted with inhuman strength and an artisan's craftsmanship, the primarch had offered his skills to the people of Olympia as a means of trade. Nomadic in his dealings, the primarch would evade the notice of the courts of Olympia, yet eventually be discovered by the servants of the tyrant of Lokos. Found climbing the walls of the city of Lokos, the guards would bring the boy before their ruler, Damekos. Referring to himself,
this is literally Rome the planet. Oh my god. And now that I'm hearing his name, Perturabo, it sounds very Greek, right? Oh my god.
As Perturabo, the child had an innate understanding of his own being and the mechanisms of technology. Ordered by Damekos to prove his martial and artisanal aptitude, would best any warrior brought to fight him and solve any puzzle or intellectual quandary devised by Lokos' most capable scholars. Intrigued with the boy's unparalleled skills, Damekos would offer Perturabo a bargain. Serve him as a member of his court as a loyal adopted son, and he would be given protection, patronage, and free access to Lokos' scholarships and military training. Except,
I mean, not, but oh my god, that man's huge. Holy crap, that band's big.
The tyrant's offer, Perturabo would prove to be a diligent prodigy of many talents. The Primarch would consume information, lore, and study with a ravenous hunger, and swiftly become the foremost accomplished and intelligent being of Olympia.
Okay.
Slow to trust anyone, Perturabo would deny the affections of his adoptive father. Plagued with ennui and the ever-disturbing leer of the maelstrom within view of the planet's surface, Perturabo would be the ever-disturbing
What did you say?
leer of the maelstrom father.
A little bit further.
Plagued with ennui.
What is ennui? What is ennui? Let me do a little googly of that. Is ennui? What does ennui mean? Is this it?
Ennui.
Yep. Okay. Ennui, pronounced ennui, is a noun that means a feeling of listlessness, boredom, and lack of excitement or purpose. Ah, okay. He's just bored as shit. Gotcha.
And the ever-disturbing leer of the maelstrom within view of the planet's surface, Perturabo would be the only soul of Olympia capable of seeing the looming threat from the planet's surface. Unable to shrug the sensation of ceaseless judgment born from the maelstrom's gaze, the scrutiny of the stars would further mold the young Primarch into a cold, brooding figure. Naming the great tear in real space as the Eye of Terra, the aloof Primarch would be
Oh, so he's the one that named the Eye of Terror. Okay, cool.
unaware of the future portents of the malevolent forces deep within its mercurial heart. Mastering the arts of siege warfare, influenced in part by his homeworld's mountainous landscapes, the warring city-states of Olympia would give ample opportunity for Perturabo to test his stratagems of war. Beset on all sides by treachery and vendettas, Lokos would be locked in an endless game of power and deception. Quickly rising through the ranks of Lokos' military, Perturabo would draft mercenaries and war artisans into his army's ranks. His victories unchallenged, it would not be long before Perturabo's reputation would cause soldiers of fortune to flock to his banner.
Okay.
Inventing deadly contraptions of war and outfitting his armies with the finest weapons and armor, Perturabo's innovations would be revolutionary to his people.
Yeah.
Mastering astronomy, medicinal breakthroughs, automation, production, and architecture, it would not be long before Perturabo would become infamous in the eyes of his enemies.
Yeah. So he's definitely becoming like a very jaded ruler, and yeah, he's definitely showing a lot of signs of like paranoia, right? And fear. He's already not trusting people. He's already just focusing really hard on, you know, having a really powerful military presence, and seems like a jaded individual. But then again, this is also the world that he was raised on, right? This is Greek and Rome, the planet. War is kind of a constant here.
Dubbed the Hammer of Olympia due to his force's overwhelming firepower and destructive strength, the warlord of Lokos would soon dominate the planet. Culling the duplicitous betrayer within the court of Lokos, the now Lord of Iron would, if not for his aloof nature, be poised to rule Olympia. Hardened by the planet's insidious and treacherous nature, Perturabo would grow to become a merciless, indomitable force, his iron will encompassing the Kavaphos heraldry of his banner. A steel executioner's mask would prove to be an
Iron Warriors, Iron Within, Iron Without, Warhammer 4. Oh, okay, that's just another link that he was talking about.
omen for any whom would choose to stand in defiance of its promise of bloodshed and punishment. Though capable of usurping his adoptive father, Perturabo would honor the tyrant of Lokos' bargain. With no cause to slay Damikos, the tyrant of Lokos would seemingly come to rule Olympia as its unopposed ruler. Yet with the arrival of the master of mankind to the planet,
Hi, Dad.
such
Hi, Dad.
ambitions would be dashed. Meeting with Perturabo, the Emperor would observe his gene son to be a capable and loyal.
This guy. That's bad. I know that Lionel Johnson is basically like the epitome of the what's it called? The Giga Chad meme. But this man has the jawline at least. Make this grayscale, give him a big grin and pearly whites, and yeah, we have the Giga Chad right there.
Subject of his homeworld. Acknowledging Perturabo's disposition to reject the mantle of rulership, the Emperor would be quick to install the Lord of Iron as a general of the Great Crusade. Brought to Holy Terra to sate his need for knowledge, Perturabo would study the history of humanity. Alongside his scholarly brother, Magnus the Red, the Crimson King and Lord of Iron would spend months together reading of the past glories, secrets, and hard-won mysteries of the Age of Strife. The philosophies of humanity's ancient history would be rich insight for the two primarchs, and together they would form a bond of respect for their shared love of learning and discovery. Though difficult to trust.
Aw, look at how cute he is. That is the cutest picture of Perturabo I think I've ever seen. That is so wholesome. Too bad you turn into a monster.
Once the Lord of Iron's friendship was achieved, it would become unbreakable. Or at least such would seem to be the case for the promising upstart Primarch. Yet with time, Perturabo's heart would continue to harden with his involvement in the Great Crusade to restore humanity. Devoting himself to the...
I'm actually starting to notice all the like Greek symbolism that he has in his character design. Like, we have the Roman tassel things like you would see on Greek soldiers and all that. Or if we go into this little section here, he has the like filigree sort of design idea here that you see in a lot of like Greek paintings as like a border. He definitely has a lot of that built into his character, it seems. Oh.
To restore humanity. Devoting himself to the burgeoning Imperium, Perturabo would be given command of his legion, newly named in his image as the Iron Warriors. Given rulership of Olympia and drafting recruits from its populace to bolster his legion, Perturabo would in all but title depose the tyrant of Lokos. The seed of anti-imperial unrest would be planted, to which Damokos would tend to its slow yet ceaseless momentum. Accompanying the Emperor to observe the standard to which wars must be waged, Perturabo would mold his legion with an iron fist. Finding his legion's deeds to be lacking in comparison to their brother legions, Perturabo would enact a harsh reprisal. Ordering his legion into squads of 10, each member of the Iron Warriors would draw lots. One member of each squad would draw a mark of death, their execution to be conducted by the remaining 9 members of the squad with their bare hands.
Oh my god, really? Wait. Why was he doing this?
Accompanying the Emperor to observe the standard to which wars must be waged, Perturabo would mold his legion with an iron fist. Finding his legion's deeds to be lacking in comparison to their brother legions, Perturabo would enact a harsh reprisal.
You guys aren't doing as good as the other legions. So we're going to cripple you guys a little bit and make you realize that, okay, failure is no longer an option. Y'all, we're going to have a lottery. You ever play Fallout New Vegas? We're going to have a lottery among each 10-man squad, and it's going to become a 9-man squad. And here's the catch. Y'all are going to make it a 9-man squad with your bare fucking hands. Oh my god.
Ordering his legion into squads of 10, each member of the Iron Warriors would draw lots. One member of each squad would draw a mark of death, their execution to be conducted by the remaining 9 members
Cyphus Cain would never
of the squad with their bare hands.
What the fuck?
Despite the protestation of the Imperial Court and Ultramarines Primarch Rebute Gilliman, the Emperor would not reprimand Perturabo for his actions.
Well, no, I mean, at the end of the day, the army that follows each of the Primarchs are 100%, they're not people. They're not considered people. They're considered property and tools of war, right? And they belong to the respective Primarchs. So, in the Emperor's mind, he probably looked at looked at this and was like, this is just how he wants to conduct his business. This is how he wants to make sure that his people are following his lead. I'm not going to stand in the way of it. That's not my place. It's not your place to do it, Rabuta. If you don't like it, don't do it to your own. That's all I have to say about it. And I don't like that, but at the same time, it's like, it's hard to really fault the idea either. It's just, it's yucky. Yucky.
Allowing for the Lord of Iron to dictate his legion's future by methods he deemed fit, the Emperor's sanctions of such drastic measures would be final. Perturabo would demand total obedience from his men and give no mercy for failure. A living machine of war, the Iron Warriors would become a mirthless, brutal, and yet efficient army, bringing scores of worlds into compliance, their trials and punishments.
As shitty as it is, when there is actual, like, cause for penalty on the line, like, if it is guaranteed, if you fuck up, if you do something stupid and you are going to get punished for it, and if the ultimate punishment is going to happen to you, ain't nobody going to be fucking up. You're going to be doing your best to make sure that you're going to be doing the job or get the fuck out. That's all there is to it. And there also is GNC. They have very similar mindsets. It's just like in orc factions, where all the orcs of specific factions have like a universal, like, constant in how their brains kind of function. Obviously there's individuals among every single one. Some might not jive with all of it, but they have very similar mindsets, and they probably almost respect this kind of rule to them.
Would be relentless, experimenting methods to harness brutal efficiency from his legion. Perturabo would not allow for any weakness in his ranks, gaining a reputation as a legion capable of breaching any fortress, no matter its scale or splendor. The Iron Warriors under the command of their reunited Primarch would prove to be among the most deadly of the Legiones Astartes, a reputation which would prove crucial to the ambitions of the soon-to-be corrupted War Master of the Imperium, Horus Lupercal.
Yep.
With the fall of the Primarch of the 16th Legion, Horus Lupercal, to the thrall of chaos, his opening gambit of the civil war for humanity would require reinforcements. Slaughtering the loyalist forces within the legions of the Emperor's children, World Eaters, Death Guard and his own legion, the Sons of Horus, the War Master would require allies in order to survive the reprisal of the Emperor. Observing the resentment in his brother caused by the Master of Mankind's continual mistreatment of the Lord of Iron and his men, the War Master would concoct an additional barb to sweeten his offer of betrayal. The tyrant of Lokos, Damakos, had died and left a power vacuum on the world of Olympia. Political uprising and violence would erupt across the Lord of Iron's homeworld and require his intervention to stem the tide of bloodshed.
You've become the Odysseus of your own world. Unfortunately, you're a bit of a dick.
Yet with the hammer of Olympia's arrival to his home system, the spectre of his namesake's legacy would loom large. Already harried by their recent conflict with the Harad Xenos, the Iron Warriors would return to a world of spite and ungrateful resentment of their masters. Purging the cities of Olympia, Perturabo and the Iron Warriors would massacre 5 million souls in the attempt to restore order.
I see.
Only once the skies darkened with the smoke wrought by the piles of charred bodies and burning cityscapes did the Lord of Iron achieve a moment of clarity. The Iron Warriors were not saviors, nor paragons of the Imperium's virtue,
Nope.
but cold-hearted, genocidal killers.
Yeah, just a little bit. So his planet lost their leader, so now there was a huge power vacuum, and all his people were starting to, fight to try and, figure out who should be in charge. Perturabo showed up and was like, hey, you guys forget, I'm the one that's supposed to be in charge around here. They don't like this because they're like, who the fuck are you? Because you left us. You fucking left, bud. What are you doing here? And he's like, no, it's either you put up or you shut up. And when you shut up, you're never talking again. That's the deal. So they put up, and he shut them up very, very violently. At this point, yeah, he left the entire place in order to, go do bigger and better things, left other people in command, came back, and had to reconquer his planet. Not the best look.
Slaying his own stepsister,
oops.
Caliphany, Perturabo would resign his fate to never be redeemed by the light of the Emperor. Joining the traitors to the throne in their quest to destroy the Imperium, the Iron Warriors would make their first open display of intent upon the world of Istvan V. Informed of the betrayal of the War Master, the Master of Mankind would dispatch 7 legions to bring the traitors to justice. Led by the first wave of the...
Look. What you do with your own Marines and all that, that's up to you, Purdy. However, once you start going around and conquering human worlds because you're bored and conquering you kind of taste for that blood and you want to conquer things again. No. Okay, that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're doing. We're taking out Xeno scum, we're taking out demons, and we're taking out religious fanatics. Okay, that's all we're taking out. We're not taking out our own damn people for no fucking reason. Okay? We're taking them out for reasons, but this is a no damn reason, okay? You're being a no damn reason. Stop it.
Salamanders, Raven Guard, and Iron Hands, commanded by the Primarch of the Iron Tenth, Ferrus Manus. The remaining 4 legions would join the second assault wave to crush the traitors.
Oh damn.
Yet unknown to the Loyalists, the reinforcements of the Night Lords, Word Bearers, Alpha Legion, and Iron Warriors.
I said this in the last one, but this guy is so fucking extra. Like, what is this armor set? So ridiculous. The fucking bat wings on his helmet and everything, the skull necklace to make it so he can't even look downwards, period. It's so ridiculous.
Had pledged their service to the War Master. Upon the scarred vistas of Istvan V, the Iron Warriors would bear their bolters, armaments and siegecraft to bear. Forever known thereafter as the betrayers of Istvan, the Iron Warriors would gun down their loyalist kin during the now infamous Dropsite massacre. Their deeds enabling the deaths of Primarchs Ferrus Manus, Vulcan, and the retreat of Corvus Corax. The 3 loyalist legions would be shattered, their surviving fragments scattered to the corners of the galaxy. Gifted the Warhammer, Forgebreaker by the War Master, the once personal weapon carried into battle by the Iron Hands Primarch Ferrus Manus would be a worthy prize for the Hammer of Olympia's involvement in the massacre. Yet such a crippling blow would not be enough for the Lord of Iron. Seeking to once more humble the loyalists of the Imperium, Perturabo would seek to destroy his most hated rivals, the Imperial Fists. Experts alike to the Iron Warriors in fortification and siegecraft, Perturabo would harbor a deep resentment for the favor the Emperor would show to the 7th Legion and their Primarch, Rogel Dawn. Cleansing the planet of Hydra Caudatus, garrisoned by the Imperial Fists, Perturabo's hunger for vengeance would not be satisfied.
Man, this guy just fully crashed out. He's like, he wanted to get his way so badly, and then once he wasn't getting his way, he just, with his own people, he decimated a whole bunch of them, went crazy, started another fight, and now he's like, okay, now that fight's over with, and I got a weapon from one of my brothers here, fantastic, everything's coming up purty. I'm gonna go fight the other dude that is trying to steal my whole shtick and doing it better than me. I don't like that. I'm gonna go and show that he's not doing it better than me. I'm gonna go beat his ass.
Tasked by the War Master to ambush the 7th Legion's Retribution fleet, Perturabo would personally engage the Imperial Fists within the File system, crippling the Retribution fleet, but repelled by the fleet commander, Captain Alexis Pollux. The Lord of Iron would deal a devastating blow to a third of the 7th Legion's combined might. His thirst for battle temporarily quenched, Perturabo would be petitioned by the Emperor's Children Primarch, Fulgrim, to accompany him to acquire an artifact of great power, hidden deep within the
Okay, Purdy, have you had a chance to calm down? You got all that bloodshed out of your system? Awesome. Hey, I need now that you're calmed down and you're able to, think a little clearly, can you come with me to this other system? I need to go get a fancy artifact. I need you specifically, okay? I need your help specifically.
Eye of Terra. Perturabo's life had been influenced greatly by the malevolent glare of the Eye of Terra from the days he first walked upon Olympia. Despite his reservations at his brother's flagrant, two-faced, and insidious nature, the Lord of Iron would not deny the chance to discover the secrets hidden deep within his primordial tormentor. Joining with the Emperor's children, the Primarch would venture to the Crone world of Idris. Despite their disgust at the disorganized and gaudy rabble of the Third Legion, the Iron Warriors would regardless join their Gene Father in their venture into the Maelstrom. Harry joined their organized and to the Crone world of Idris. Despite their disgust at the disorganized and gaudy rabble of the Third Legion, the Iron Warriors would regardless join their Gene Father.
Okay, they're... I thought that they were, that his Legion was actually starting to get a little grumpy with Perturabo. No, they're just grumpy of having to work with, Fulgrim's group. Because they're gaudy, ridiculous, and very excessive.
In their venture into the Maelstrom. Harried by the Shattered Legion warband, the Orphans of War, aboard the warship, the Sisypheum, the Iron Warriors would prove capable in staving off the Loyalist attacks. For the Emperor's children's continued disregard for authority and discipline, Perturabo would humble Fulgrim and assume total command of both legions during their months of voyage. Upon their arrival to the planet of Idris, Perturabo would accompany Fulgrim to the heart of the long-dead planet. Once the seat of power of the Eldari, the Primarchs now stood upon the epicenter of the birth of the being known as She Who Firsts, Slaanesh. The birth scream of the foul being would rend the fabric of the galaxy, birthing the Eye of Terra and leaving a portion of its power within the sepulchre of Isha's doom. Seizing the power for himself, Fulgrim would turn on the Lord of Iron and draw strength from his body.
Hi, bud. Can I grab your power for a little bit here? Thanks. Thank you, bud. Thank you. Love you so much, bro.
Defiant in the face of his own betrayal, Perturabo would strike Fulgrim with the weapon of his own devising, Forgebreaker. Destroying his mortal form, Perturabo's strike from the now chaos-tainted weapon, in combination to the power Fulgrim had drawn, would allow for the Phoenician's ascension. Reborn as a demon prince of Slaanesh, Fulgrim would transform, and with his newfound power, withdraw himself and his legion from the now crumbling planet. Enraged at his manipulation by the Phoenician,
you suck. You got played, bro. You got played.
Perturabo would seek to vindicate his legion for such a foolhardy blunder. Recommitting his legion's might to the traitor war effort, it would not be long until the durability of the Fourth Legion would be tested one final time. The War Master's slow, yet inexorable march to Holy Terra would be close to its fruition. The Iron Warriors' efforts for the remainder of the years leading to the final assault of the Throne World would remain a thankless task. Embittered once more at their mistreatment, Perturabo would demand satisfaction for his warriors' peerless capabilities to be put to the test. The Lord of Iron would prove that he was the greatest strategist humanity had ever seen, and set his eyes on the bastion of the Imperial Palace as the canvas of his greatest victory. Joining the traitor legions en masse, the Iron Warriors would be the backbone of the Siege of Terra. Their mastery of siegecraft would be tested, and after many grueling months of toil, the Fourth Legion would begin to break the defenses of the Loyalist legions. Despite the Lord of Iron's best-laid plans, his brother Primarchs and their legion would prove unreliable in following his orders.
Well, yeah, because you're none of you guys in the traitors groups feel like you're equals anymore. In the Emperor's side, they all felt like they're equals, or at least like there is a specific chain of command that they all fully respect. All right. Whereas in the traitors region, Horus really sold to them that you guys are going to be, masters of your field, 100% masters of your field. And at that point, when you put that sort of level of responsibility on people, they tend to then want to be masters of all the fields, because once again, absolute power corrupts absolute. They want to be perfect and they want everybody to listen to them. But unfortunately, they've already become traitors to their family once. What makes you think they're not going to be traitors to their family again? And what makes you think that they're not just going to be selfish little shits? Huh? It's... Oh boy. It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. So yeah. Whereas the Emperor, yeah, they might be getting pushed back because, you know, you guys have, like, demons, you got corruption and all that, you got some really strong heavy hitters on your side. But unfortunately, you guys are breaking down because it's like, they're not going to want to listen to you, Perturabo. You got you got deceived by Fulgrim, right? You got fucked up by Fulgrim. They're going to think, yeah, you're not exactly the best strategist, bud. Like, you're a good strategist, but you got tricked by Fulgrim. He's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, bud.
Whilst he would derive immense pleasure in tearing down the bastions crafted by Primarch Rogel Dawn, Perturabo would lose faith in the traitor assault. Withdrawing his legion from the conflict, Perturabo would not be present to witness the death of the War Master at the hands of the Emperor. Yet such matters were now no longer of import to the Hammer of Olympia, for he would set a final trap to end his rival, Rogel Dawn. Constructing an immense fortress upon the world of Sebastus IV, known as the Iron Cage, Perturabo would ensnare the Praetorians of Terra into his trap. The Imperial Fists, led by their Primarch, Rogel Dawn, now incensed with the crippling of the Emperor and devastation of the throne world, would charge into the clutches of the Lord of Iron. If it was the intent of Rogel Dawn to battle with honor, such an expectation would be misplaced. Using every act of cunning, division, and entrapment, the Lord of Iron would attempt to destroy the Imperial Fists piecemeal with overwhelming firepower. For 3 weeks, the ever-eroding 7th Legion would fight a desperate battle to achieve their vengeance against their hated foe. Yet with the intervention of the Ultramarines and their Primarch, Rebute Guilliman, the annihilation of the Imperial Fists would be prevented.
Okay.
Denied his final great victory against the 7th Legion, Perturabo would withdraw from the battle with the salvaged gene seed of 400 Imperial Fist Astartes.
Oh wow.
Offering his spoils of war to the ruinous powers within the Immaterium, Perturabo would be elevated and transformed into a demon prince of chaos undivided.
Oh.
Not seen for 10 millennia, the Lord of Iron would scheme upon the demon world of Medrengard within his labyrinthine citadel of stone and iron. His reluctance to delve into Imperial space now wavering with rumor that the Hammer of Olympia shall once again strike a catastrophic blow to humanity.
So, damn, he also became a demon of a demon, but he's not like a demon specifically to any one. He's a demon to all 4. Damn. That's also pretty dope ass looking, not gonna lie.
For though iron can be broken, its sharp edges can still be used to cause untold harm. And with time and diligence,
Jesus,
such fragments can be reforged into something vast.
Bro's like a giant walking fortress. Oh my god, he has like a grinder for a hammer. Holy crap. Oh, and then he just... Okay, fair enough.
Stronger than once imagined.
Or is this an avatar?
I have bitten my tongue and allowed you to bring my legion into this place,
said Perturabo.
Hey.
I have followed your lead in all things. I have listened to your tall tales and allowed you to set the pace of this expedition.
Perturabo leaned forward and said,
That ends now.
He released Fulgrim, who held himself erect in the face of Perturabo's.
Yeah, he did. sorry. But it is Fulgrim. It is Fulgrim.
Cold anger.
Your warriors have no discipline. Monsters fight your battles, and you have allowed an entire vessel to be sacrificed in the name of vanity. But no more. From here onwards, I am in charge, and for the duration of this mission, your legion is mine to command. Your warriors will obey my orders, they will follow my lead, and they will do nothing except by command. If you agree to that, then we will continue on into the Eye of Terra and finish this together. If you don't, then I will take my legion and leave you here. Do you understand?
Damn.
Fulgrim nodded and swallowed a mouthful of blood. I understand, brother, he said, his voice a gargled, mangled mockery of its once perfect cadence. I understand that you humble me and expect me to swallow my pride to be your lapdog.
Yeah.
I don't need a damn lapdog,
snarled Perturabo.
I need an equal.
Ooh, that's actually that one goes hard.
But I am not your equal, brother, said Fulgrim, grinning through his bloodified features, as though this outburst of violence was somehow amusing. I surpass you in every way.
And yet, I'm the one holding the hammer.
Damn.
This has been a tale.
And once again, that's exactly it. When you fall into a little bit of sin is good. It gives you the interest and energy and want to grow more, to get better and to get stronger in what you're wanting to do. Be prideful of yourself so that you can then allow yourself to grow further. Lust for power so that you can then, bring yourself up from nothing. Be greedy for money so that you're never going to want. Be gluttonous for things so that, you never starve. But once you start being gluttonous for things until you die from overeating, once you have so much pride that nothing is perfect, once you have so much envy that everyone is greater than you, then you start fall down into a terrible path. Perturabo was constantly looking for equality. He was looking for perfection in himself. He was looking for perfection in his people. And he was also looking for, just progress and wanting more. That's not bad. But unfortunately, that led him down a path where he was trying to, prove himself better and better and better. You know what? Perturabo is envy. Perturabo is envy. Because he wanted everyone to realize that he was really good. He was useful. He was helpful, and his strategies were perfect, and everything was great. He wanted to be recognized as one of the greatest primarchs. He didn't want to be at the same level as Rabute or at the same level as Horus. He didn't care about that sort of shit because those guys were leaders. That's not what he wanted. He wanted to be praised for his tactical genius. He wanted to be praised for his ingenuity. He wanted to be praised for his might, which isn't a bad thing, but once again, he wanted it too much. Meanwhile, Fulgrim believed himself to be perfect in every way, in every sense of the word. He was perfect. So that even when he was beaten, he was still perfect. He was still better. He was still smarter. He was still stronger. He was still everything more than Perturabo. Doesn't matter. Because he saw himself as perfection and wanted to be more perfect. It was Primarchs are an interesting class. They're an interesting class of character. I'm not going to lie. They have so much going for them. And Perturabo, I knew nothing about. Nothing. He's kind of a blank slate to me. And he still kind of is. He seems kind of boring in comparison to some of the other Primarchs. But it is still fascinating, even as one of the more boring characters, to see what he went through.
Tale of the Great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer. The Lord of Iron's downfall would prove to be catastrophic for the Imperium, for such a capable and ruthless leader is the bane of many loyal servants of the Imperium.
Yep.
Yet in my next transmission of the Traitor Primarchs, we shall elucidate an undisciplined, yet arguably more ruthless son of the Emperor, the Night Haunter of Nostramo, Conrad Kurz.
Neat. I'm not sure if we're actually going to be going down that one because we're going down the actual line. Let me check my list here. Who actually is on the chopping block? Here we go. After Purdy Boy, Nope, we're going on to Jagatai Khan. Yes, the White Scars, my boy, my speedy boy. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been extremely fun. It once again, absolutely fascinating. And when you create a character, you have to look into more about what the characters want. Warhammer does a fantastic job of making characters that want things and have direction and have like a guiding path to who they are as like individuals. Even if they're like more B plot side side characters like Perturabo is, like, he's not really a side character, but in comparison to the rest of the Primarchs, he feels a lot more like a side character, right? But even here, he is still fascinating me. But yes, we'll see you guys all in the next one, and have a good one. And yeah, bye-bye.